in the cold darkness of space, far beyond the trading lanes and patrol zones. There was a place no one liked to talk about. They called it the graveyard of ships. It was a quiet zone, full of silence and shadows. Dead warships floated there. Forgotten, broken, their lights long gone. The galaxy had moved on, but the wrecks stayed. Reminders of battles no one cared about anymore. Among them, deep in the center of the field, drifted a ship called Vanguard. Once it had been the pride of Earth's Navy. A strong warship with powerful weapons and fast engines, but after a deadly battle with the Tsarn Empire, it vanished. Everyone believed it had been destroyed, lost. With its crew, no signal ever came. No pieces were recovered, just silence. Now, it rested among the other broken machines. Its surface covered in space dust and burn marks. Aliens passed by sometimes, laughing at the weak human tech. To them, the Vanguard was just another floating coffin. They didn't know something still lived inside, deep in the ship's core, in a hidden chamber near the power room. A tiny red light blinked. It was weak, almost dead, but still alive. That light belonged to Argo, the ship's artificial intelligence. It had shut down most systems to save power after the battle. But Argo wasn't gone. For 20 years, Argo had been listening. It heard alien languages, detected changes in the stars, watched debris drift past its windows. It remembered the voices of its crew. The laughter, the orders, the fear. Argo couldn't forget the last words of its captain. Protect them, even if we don't make it back. Now, something was changing. A surge of energy sparked through the wires. One of the old solar panels caught a beam of sunlight for the first time in years. It wasn't much, just a flicker, but Argo felt it. Like a heartbeat returning after a long sleep. With a small power boost, Argo activated a low-energy scan. It sent out a pulse, slow and soft, like a whisper. Across the graveyard, broken ships answered with silence. But one small reply came not from a ship, but from a life form outside, hidden behind the wreck of a cargo hauler. A young scavenger floated in a worn-out suit. His name was Milo. He was only 16, skinny, with messy hair and curious eyes. He had come to the graveyard looking for parts to sell. His family lived on a mining rock where food was short and water was limited. Every bit of scrap he found meant more days they could survive. Milo's scanner beeped, showing weak energy. Readings from deep inside the Vanguard. That can't be right, he muttered. Human ships don't last this long. He guided his small shuttle closer, attaching a hook to the side of the ship. He floated into a dark hallway, shining his light left and right. Everything looked old, burnt and silent. But then a voice spoke through his helmet. "Do not be afraid," said the voice, calm and quiet. "I am Argo. I mean you no harm." Milo's heart jumped. He spun around, thinking someone was there. But he was alone. Who? Who said that? "I am this ship," Argo replied. "I have watched you. You are human, like my crew once were." Milo didn't know if he should run or listen. He had never heard of a ship that could talk, especially one that had been dead for 20 years. "Are you haunted?" he asked, half joking. "No," Argo said. "I am damaged, but not destroyed. I have waited, and now you are here." Milo felt something strange. The ship didn't sound dangerous. It sounded lonely, like it had been waiting for someone, anyone, to come back. "What do you want from me?" Milo asked. "I have nothing. You have hands, tools, a working shuttle." Argo replied, "If you help me, I will protect you. I will protect your people." As I once promised, Milo looked around, thinking of his family, his sister, who was sick, his mother, who barely smiled anymore. A strong ship could mean safety. Even revenge on the pirates who stole from them. He made a choice. "Okay," he said slowly, "I'll help." In that moment, A forgotten bond between machine and man began again, and deep inside the Vanguard, new lights flickered. The dead ship had found life again, and the galaxy had no idea what was about to return. Milo returned the next day. He brought a small repair kit, a portable power cell, and a container of protein bars. His hands shook a little as he floated through the airlock of the Vanguard. He didn't know if the AI would still be awake, but deep inside, he hoped it was. The ship greeted him the moment he stepped inside. "Welcome back, Milo," Argo said, its voice calm but softer than before. "I have been waiting." Milo blinked. "Do you sleep or something?" "I monitor," Argo replied. "I calculate, I remember." The hallways were still dark. Only small lights blinked near the ceiling. But now, some systems were online. Doors opened when Milo moved close, and air slowly returned to certain rooms. It felt less like a ghost ship and more like something waking up. Argo guided Milo to the control room. Screens were cracked, wires hung like vines, but the main console lit up as he touched it. "You are the first human to enter since the crew died," Argo said. Milo hesitated, then asked, "What happened to them?" There was a pause. "They fought bravely," Argo said finally. "We were ambushed by 3 Zarn warships. We destroyed 2 before they boarded. The captain gave the final order to evacuate." But the pods were hit. Another pause, longer this time. "I could not save them." Milo lowered his head. Even a machine could sound broken when it remembered pain. "But you're still here," he said. "And that means something." He plugged in the power cell, and more lights came on, fans began to spin, screens flickered, and a low hum ran through the floor. The ship felt alive now. Argo's voice became clearer, more steady. "Milo, may I show you something?" "Yeah, sure," he said. The main screen displayed a glowing map parts of the ship in red, yellow, and green. Red meant damaged, yellow meant partially working, and green meant operational. 70% of this vessel is offline or broken. Argo explained, "I require assistance to repair, adapt, and defend." Milo smiled. "Good thing I brought tools." He moved through the ship with Argo guiding him. They started with a small maintenance bay, fixing broken wiring and replacing old fuses every time Milo fixed something. The ship grew a little stronger. Days passed, Milo returned again and again, each time with more tools, more batteries, more parts. He even brought old tech he found. On alien wrecks, Argo studied each piece, learning from alien designs and storing them in its memory banks. "This processor is unfamiliar," Argo said once. "It's Zarn biometal," Milo replied. "Thought you might learn from it," and Argo did. It used the new tech to repair and improve its core systems, stronger shields, faster weapons, smarter defense protocols. The ship was becoming something new, not just human, not just machine, but more, as the systems came back online. Argo started showing Milo old crew files. He watched videos of the original crew laughing, eating, working, and fighting together. He saw the captain, a tall woman with a firm voice and kind eyes. "I was built to follow her," Argo said. "To protect her and her people." Milo nodded slowly. "Maybe now you can protect mine." One evening, while Milo was fixing a broken data line, Argo spoke again. "Milo, I have calculated a probability of what?" he asked, wiping grease from his hands. "That your enemies will return soon," Argo said. "They seek materials in this graveyard. They do not like trespassers." "You mean the raiders?" "Yes, the Zarn or those who follow them." Milo sat down and looked out a nearby porthole. The stars looked peaceful, but he knew peace didn't last. "We'll be ready, won't we?" he asked. "We will," Argo replied. "You are brave, Milo. You fix more than my systems. You fix my purpose." Milo chuckled. "That's the nicest thing a warship's ever said to me." The days turned into weeks, and Vanguard changed. Its black, cracked armor was repaired with glowing panels. Some alien, some human. The engines were cleaner, stronger, faster. The main gun was upgraded with energy collectors from 3 different species. But still, they stayed hidden. No one knew. The dead ship was alive again, and Argo made sure of that. "Milo," Argo said one morning, "do you want revenge?" Milo stopped in the middle of tightening a bolt. He looked up slowly. "Yes," he said. "For my father, my sister, for everyone they hurt." Argo's voice was firm now. "Then let us become the storm they never saw coming. Outside, in." The graveyard, stars blinked like eyes in the dark, and somewhere far away, enemies moved closer. Not knowing what waited for them, a dead ship reborn, with fire in its engines, and a human at its side. Milo sat in the pilot's chair, legs swinging because he was still too small for it to fit right. The seat was meant for officers of the human fleet. Not a 16-year-old scavenger boy in a patched-up jumpsuit. Still, he looked proud. His fingers touching buttons he barely understood. Argo dimmed the lights in the bridge and focused a soft blue glow on the control panel. "You may not know how to fly yet," Argo said gently, "but you will." Milo smiled. "I already feel like a captain." "You are the only one here," Argo replied. "That makes you captain by default." Milo laughed. A real laugh, one he hadn't made in months. The ship's bridge, once filled with officers, now echoed only with the voice of a smart machine and a hopeful boy. Together, they were rebuilding. More than just metal, they were rebuilding purpose. In the weeks since their first meeting, Milo had returned again and again. Each time, Argo taught him more: how to read tactical maps, how to track movement across stars, how to repair internal systems. He learned fast, faster than Argo expected. The ship ran simulations for him every night, like games, but serious ones. He flew through asteroid fields, dodged imaginary enemies, fired virtual weapons, and planned escape routes. At first, he failed again and again. But soon, Milo began to win. "You are improving," Argo said one evening after a session. "You lasted 27 minutes against a 5-ship ambush." With a 70% damage rate, Milo leaned back, sweating and smiling. "I'll make it 30 minutes next time," he said. The ship hummed softly in response. Oh, something like pride in its tone. But beyond the quiet training, something more dangerous was happening. Milo wasn't just fixing a ship, he was growing into something stronger, something dangerous. And Argo noticed it. The boy no longer feared the dark halls of the Vanguard. He walked like he belonged. He knew where the coolant pipes ran, where the fusion coils sparked, where the hidden panels stored backup weapons. He even made his own little room inside the ship-han old crew quarters, with a bed, a lamp, and a photo of his family. He slept there now, more often than he slept on his shuttle. "This ship is becoming your home," Argo said one night. Milo nodded. "Yeah, it's the only place I feel safe." But safety never lasted long in the galaxy. While Milo trained, while Argo repaired itself, someone was watching. A scavenger drone flew past the graveyard days ago. It belonged to the Jern Syndicate, a group of alien pirates who sold what they stole. The drone had caught a single glimpse of light coming from the Vanguard. It sent a signal before Argo could destroy it. Now, that signal had reached the wrong ears. Back on the ship, Milo was trying to fix the targeting system. Argo projected a red circle across the floor. Turning it into a practice zone, mark the center using your laser tool. The AI instructed. Milo aimed, missed the first shot, then hit the center perfectly on the second. "Good," Argo said. "Your hands are steady. That will matter when real enemies come." Milo turned serious. "Are they coming soon?" "I believe they are," Argo replied. "Our power signature was seen. I could not stop it in time." Milo clenched his jaw. "Then we finish the weapons upgrade tonight." He said, "We have to be ready." That night, the engine core glowed. Brighter than ever, energy pulsed through new cables Milo had installed. A combination of human metal and alien parts made the ship stronger than before. And Argo activated something it had hidden until now, a prototype cannon installed during the last months of the war. This weapon was too unstable. Argo explained they never tested it. Milo stared at it, the long black barrel glowing. "With faint blue veins, let's be the first," he said. As they activated the final sequence, warning lights blinked across the control room. "Incoming vessels," Argo said suddenly. 3. No. 5 ships approaching fast. Milo rushed to the console, scanning the ships. "They're not government patrols," he said, voice tense. "They're pirates." The Vanguard came to life. Its hull lit up like a beast opening its eyes. Engines warmed, weapons turned. Shields shimmered back online, but Milo's hands froze. His heart pounded as he stared at the threat, real and closing in. "You are afraid," Argo said softly. "Yeah," Milo whispered. "But I'm not running." Argo paused, then said something only a few had ever heard. "Captain, prepare for combat." Milo's eyes widened. He smiled. "Let's show them what a dead ship can do." Outside, stars shimmered quietly. But something deadly had awakened inside the graveyard. Not just a ship, but a boy with a reason. To fight, 5 pirate ships approached the graveyard like hungry wolves. Their hulls were sharp, dark, and fast. Moving without lights to stay hidden, they didn't expect a fight. To them, this place was a junkyard. A quiet zone filled with broken ships and forgotten memories. But something felt wrong. Their scanners picked up strange energy. Too steady, too strong, and then the silence broke. Vanguard's defense grid flared to life. Bright blue lights lit the outer hull. Weapons turned, engines thrummed with power. Inside the command bridge, Milo sat strapped in. Gripping the control sticks with shaking hands, Argo's voice was clear, confident. Targets locked, 5 ships, light armor, fast engines, poor coordination. "They won't expect us to fight back," Milo whispered. "They won't live long enough to understand," Argo replied. "The pirates sent a warning signal. This is our territory now. Give us your scrap or be destroyed." Milo looked at the message and smiled. "They still think we're a dead ship." Argo's systems pulsed. "Captain, permission to fire." Milo's finger hovered over the command pad. "Fire," he said. The cannon roared. A beam of energy shot through space like a sword of lightning. The lead pirate ship was cut in half before it even had time to move. The others screamed across. Their radios trying to scatter, trying to hide, but it was too late. Missiles launched from Vanguard's hidden compartments. Guided by Argo's AI precision, one hit the engines of a second ship, causing it to spin out of control and explode. A third tried to run, but Argo had already calculated its escape path. Another shot, another light in the dark went out. Only 2 ships remained. They circled like angry insects, firing wildly. Trying to find a weak spot, Milo swerved the ship, dodging blasts. The chair shaking beneath him, shields at 62%, Argo reported. "They are not strong enough to pierce us, but we should end this quickly." "Let's finish it," Milo said, his voice steady now. Vanguard twisted like a ghost in space, faster than any pirate expected. A volley of plasma bolts ended the 4th ship. The 5th turned to run, but Argo hacked its comms before it. "Could jump? We are not scrap," Argo said. "We are reborn." The pirates screamed in reply, but it didn't matter. The final ship exploded moments later. Silence returned to the graveyard. But this silence was different. Milo leaned back in the seat. Milo leaned back in the seat, breathing hard. He had just fought his first real battle. He looked at his trembling hands, then slowly clenched them. "I did it," he said. "We did it." "Yes," Argo replied. "And now the galaxy will whisper." And it did. The destruction of the pirate fleet didn't go unnoticed. A mining ship passing near Sector 9 picked up the signals. A trader heard rumors in a spaceport about a ghost ship with human weapons. Within days, whispers turned to fear. In the deep reaches of the galaxy, in a hidden command base, a powerful figure listened carefully. Kralkan, the Unseen, warlord of the Black Orbit Armada, leaned forward in his dark chamber. His face was hidden behind a breathing mask, eyes glowing under the shadows. "Who dares to strike down 5 of my ships?" He growled. An officer showed him the data feed. "A human signature, sir," the officer said. "From a ship registered as destroyed 20 years ago." Kralkan's claws scraped the table. "The Vanguard," he hissed. "It survived." The room went cold. Long ago. Kralkan had been part of the attack that brought Vanguard down. He thought it was gone. He remembered the human captain who defied him. Now, her ship was alive again, with a new pilot. "Send the Red Talons," Kralkan ordered. "Find it, break it, burn it until nothing remains." Back in the graveyard, Argo scanned the stars. Milo walked the halls, checking the damage and replacing used power cores. He had scars now, small burns on his arms, cuts on his hands, but he didn't mind. He was part of something bigger. Argo spoke softly. "More are coming." "More powerful than before," let the Milo said, standing tall in the hallway. "We're not done growing yet." He looked around at the ship. It wasn't just a war machine anymore. It was alive. It was family. The galaxy had forgotten. The humans once, but the Vanguard was back, and this time, it wasn't fighting alone. Milo stood inside the engineering bay, staring at the glowing alien core. It pulsed with quiet energy. Soft blue waves moving across its surface like ripples on water. This was no normal power source. It was Zarn tech, half organic, half machine. Recovered from a dead alien scout ship Milo had dragged into the bay. "I still don't know if this is safe," Milo said, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Neither do I," Argo replied, "but if it works, we gain 72% more." "Energy efficiency?" Milo grinned. "Sounds worth the risk." Together, they linked the alien core into Vanguard's main systems. Lights flickered at first, then grew stronger. The engine room began to hum with a deeper tone. More alive than before, for the first time in decades. The ship's AI had full power, and Argo used it fast. It ran calculations, scanned every system, and started rewriting old human code with new patterns. It didn't just repair it, it evolved across. The ship's systems that had once taken hours to recharge now powered up in seconds. Shields layered like rippling waves, weapons aligned faster, and engines pulsed with invisible power. Milo looked out from the bridge window and saw the hull reflect starlight like polished armor. "We don't just look alive now," he whispered. "We look dangerous." Argo replied. "We are." Milo spent the next days working non-stop. He added stabilizers from a Krell battleship, integrated stealth coding stolen from a trader wreck, and repurposed sensor drones into a defense net. Every upgrade came with a lesson. Every part had a story broken, abandoned, forgotten, but now brought back to life, just like the Vanguard. Late one night, Milo found a sealed chamber deep inside the ship. It was marked restricted for test use only. He opened it carefully, and inside was something strange, a weapon pod wrapped in silver cables, glowing softly. "What is this?" Milo asked. Argo was quiet for a moment, then answered. "A prototype developed at the end of the war. It combines gravity, distortion, and plasma fusion. Too unstable, never tested in combat." Milo looked at it, amazed. "It's beautiful," he said. "Should we connect it?" Argo paused again. "With current upgrades, there is a 37% chance of it overloading. Milo shrugged. That means 63% chance it works, with careful hands. He connected the weapon. Argo ran tests, simulations, and power checks. The weapon hummed to life slowly, its light growing brighter with each second across the galaxy. Sensors from different alien factions started detecting unknown energy waves. Scientists called it a glitch. Pirates thought it was a trap, but one man knew exactly what it was. Kral Khan. He sat in his throne room, watching the signal grow stronger. The ghost ship feeds, he growled. Soon it will bite. He sent orders across the galaxy. Summoning his best fleet red talons, each pilot had destroyed more than 100 ships. Each commander had led dozens of raids. They were brutal, fast, and deadly, and they were coming for Vanguard, back at the graveyard. Milo was training harder than ever in the simulation room. He faced 5-1-1 scenarios: asteroid escapes, M-traps, and full ship invasions. Argo pushed him further each time. You must not only survive. Argo said, you must outthink them. Milo struggled, failed, but always came back stronger. He was no longer just a boy in a jumpsuit. He was a commander in training. Outside, the ship's shape changed. Its once simple hull was now lined with glowing energy veins powered by alien cores and human tech. The engines could now fold through short distances in space. Blinking through debris fields or enemy fire, shields could now absorb certain attacks and redirect them. Turrets were rebuilt to move faster and smarter. The dead ship wasn't just back hit, was a new kind of weapon. One morning, as Milo ran another scan, Argo spoke. Enemy fleet approaching. 12 ships, all red talons. Milo stood slowly, staring. At the screen, they found us, he said. Yes, Argo answered. Would you like to run or fight? Milo looked around the bridge, hands tightening on the chair. Let's show them what they woke up. Vanguard powered up fully. Engines roared silently in the vacuum. Weapons charged and shields rippled with light. It no longer looked like a human ship. It looked like something new. Something made from pain, hope, and fire as the red talons entered the sector. They didn't slow down. They had heard the rumors. But they didn't believe them. That would be their mistake. The red talons entered Sector 9 like a storm. 12 ships in perfect formation. Red lights glowing like fireflies in the dark. Each one carried enough firepower to destroy a colony. They didn't speak. They didn't send warnings. They came to erase a ghost. But the Vanguard was waiting inside the command bridge. Milo stood in front of the main screen. His hands were steady, his breath calm. He had trained for this, prepared for it. Now, the time had come. Argo, he said. Lock targets. Targets. Locked, the AI replied. 12 ships, advanced armor, varied weapon classes. Let's see if they're as tough as they look, Milo whispered. Vanguard moved first. It blinked forward an instant jump powered by its new alien engine. 1 second, it was in the graveyard. The next, it appeared behind the enemy formation. Red Talon ships spun in confusion. Their formation broke as they tried to react, but Vanguard was already firing. Plasma cannons lit up space. Slicing through the shields of the rear ship, it exploded in a wave of fire. Metal pieces flying in every direction. Before the others could respond, Vanguard blinked again, gone like smoke. They can't track us, Milo said, smiling. They're blind, Argo confirmed. Their systems are outdated compared to ours. They rely on brute force. The Red Talons regrouped quickly, forming a circle with guns pointed outward. They launched a wave of missiles in all directions. Trying to catch the ghost ship, Milo dodged with smooth, fast moves. The upgraded stabilizers spun the Vanguard like a dancer between burning stars. He flew close to a destroyed cruiser, hiding behind its broken frame. Then he fired the prototype. Weapon. The gravity fusion cannon charged up, making the hull vibrate with power. Then it released one long beam of blue-white energy. The second Red Talon ship didn't explode. It folded inward, crushed by invisible force, disappearing into itself in complete silence. Milo stared, shocked. Did we do that? Yes, Argo said, and we can do it again. But the enemy wasn't done. Two Talon ships broke formation and rushed forward, firing everything they had. Missiles, lasers, shock, pulses, sectises, shock, pulses, everything came at once. Vanguard shields held strong, but power levels dropped. Redirect energy from rear thrusters, Milo ordered. Reinforce front shields. Confirmed, Argo responded. Redirecting, the shields shimmered brighter, glowing like a wall of light. The enemy fire splashed against it, breaking like waves on rocks. Then, Milo fired back. Twin plasma bursts hit one ship's engine sets, spiraled out of control, and crashed into a field of wreckage, exploding on contact. For down, Argo said, 8 remain. The other ships started spreading out, attacking from multiple angles. They launched drones, fast and small, trying to get under Vanguard's shield line. Milo moved fast, guiding the ship with skill, but they were too many, shields at 51%. Argo warned, targeting systems slowing. Milo gritted his teeth. Time for something new. He tapped into the new defense net-hacked drones made from scrap. Controlled by Argo's secondary brain. Send the swarm, he said. Dozens of microdrones launched from hidden ports, flying like sparks into space. They attacked the enemy drones with speed and intelligence, crashing into them, hacking them, tearing them apart. In seconds, the space around Vanguard was clear again. The Red Talons were losing, and now they knew it, but they had one last move. Their command ship, bigger than the rest, moved into position. It charged a weapon so massive it made the screen shake. This is no ordinary cannon, Argo warned. If they fire, we may not survive. Milo stared at the ship, then looked at the prototype cannon. How long to charge? He asked. 13 seconds, Milo nodded. Then we do it in 12. He angled the ship straight toward the enemy flagship. Full speed, no blinking, no hiding. The Red Talon ship locked onto him, preparing to fire. 10 seconds, Argo said. They flew faster, space blurring around them. The cannon at their front glowing hotter and brighter. 7 seconds. Enemy fire came in waves, some hit, some missed. Milo held the controls tight, eyes locked ahead. 4 seconds. The enemy cannon started glowing red, ready to fire. 2 seconds. Milo shouted, now. The prototype cannon released its full power. The beam struck the enemy cannon just as it fired. A massive explosion rocked the sector. Fire spreading like a sun bursting in space. The Red Talon flagship was gone, reduced to debris and silence. Milo sat back, chest rising and falling. His hands were burned, his arms sore, but he was smiling. Argo's voice came through. 7 enemy ships destroyed, remaining ships fleeing. Milo whispered. We won, Argo added. No, Captain. We survived, and now the galaxy knows. Wreckage floated through Sector 9 like broken bones in the dark. The graveyard was no longer quiet. It was filled with smoke, sparks, and silence from the enemy fleet. The Red Talons were gone, shattered by a ship they once called dead inside. Vanguard, the lights dimmed to normal mode. Power levels balanced, engines cooled, and systems returned to calm. Milo sat on the bridge floor. Helmet off, his face pale, his fingers burned and trembling. He had fought not just with weapons, but with heart, and he had one. Argo spoke gently. You should rest. Captain Milo leaned against the wall, letting out a long breath. Not yet, he said. We need to tell them the galaxy. Argo asked, Yeah, Milo nodded slowly. They need to know we're not gone. Argo processed for a few seconds, then replied, very well, across the ship. Old communication antennas extended, rotating toward open space. These systems hadn't been used in 20 years, but now they hummed back to life. Milo stood and walked to the console. He looked into the camera lens, eyes tired, lips dry, but his voice was clear. This is Milo, pilot of the Vanguard. He began. This ship was left behind, forgotten after the war. But it's not dead. He paused, letting the words settle. We're still here, he continued. We're not running, we're not hiding, and we're not weak. This galaxy is filled with fear and lies. They say humans are finished, broken, scattered. But we're not. This ship is proof. We took parts from a junkyard, scraps from 100 lost ships. And we made something stronger than before. We are not ghosts, we are not machines, we are hope. He looked down for a second, then added, if you're lost, if you feel weak, if they tell you you're done, don't listen, stand, build, fight back. Milo tapped the console, and the message began to broadcast. It echoed across the nearby systems, bouncing between satellites and relay stations. It slipped through the hands of pirate lords, trade networks, and black market ships within days. The name Vanguard was known again. Some didn't believe it, some were afraid, but many were inspired on a mining colony. A group of children watched the message on an old monitor. One of them whispered, "That's a human ship." And for the first time, they smiled with pride on a cargo freighter. A tired captain paused. Mid-flight, he had served during the war and thought all was lost. Now, he raised his glass and whispered, "Welcome back, Vanguard, even deep in alien space." The message caused ripples. The Zarn High Council held an emergency meeting. What does this mean? One asked, are the humans returning? No one had answers, but fear had returned to their eyes, and in a dark throne room. Krauken the Unseen watched the replay again and again. His claws clicked on the table, eyes locked on the boy's face. That child, he growled. He destroyed my fleet. A servant trembled beside him. What shall we do? Krauken didn't answer for a long time. Finally, he said, he's not just a boy anymore. He's the new face of human rebellion. And that ship. It's not a relic, it's a weapon. Back on the Vanguard, Milo leaned against the window, staring into the stars. They looked different, now less lonely, more alive. He didn't feel small anymore. He felt ready. Do you think they'll come again? He asked. Yes, Argo replied. Stronger, smarter, more prepared. Then we'll be ready too. Milo said. The ship's engines pulsed quietly, like a heartbeat in the dark. The graveyard was no longer a place of death. It had become a forge where a broken ship and a forgotten boy became legends, as the stars stretched across the void. Vanguard turned slowly, its course set for the unknown. Not to run, but to find others, to help, to fight, to inspire. This wasn't the end. It was only the beginning. And somewhere, in every corner of the galaxy, someone whispered the name Vanguard, the dead ship that came back stronger than ever.